Hi guys, I'm glad you could join me today. I have such a great makeup tutorial for you. I've been wanting to do this. Last week, Prince, the awesome, amazing musician, passed away. I was such a fan of his growing up, and he was just a great, awesome musician. Yes, he was extreme. Yes, he was different, but that's what I liked about him. I think he did not fit into any one mold. I was so disappointed when he passed away, and I'm sure some of you were as well. And that got me thinking that maybe I would like to do a makeup tutorial called Purple Rains, inspired by purple, of course, and I just really felt like that would be a fun one for you. And so this is what I came up with. So I came up with a purple smoky eye. I do have a little bit of purple liner on the inner waterline, and just some purple tones on the blush and on the lipstick. So I hope you like it. And if this interests you and Prince meant something to you as he did to me, then keep on watching. I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Okay, first off, I have moisturize my lips with a lip balm. And now I'm going to do my primer. I'm using the YSL Blur Primer. And I'm going to place that all over my face and make sure you get a nice even coat. That will help blur out any lines and pores. And it also helps to have your foundation go on smoother and last longer. And now I'm grabbing my YSL foundation in the warm sand color and using my beloved beauty blender. You want to wet your beauty blender and get it nice and wet, and then wring it out and use it in a pouncing motion on your face. That's what I like to do. Just picking up some from the back of my hand and making it even all over my face. I do not rub it around on my face. I just do it in tapping motions. I find for me with dry skin that works better. It leaves a nicer finish on my face. And you want to make sure you always go down the neck and you hit your ears and your hairline so you don't have any demarcation lines. Now I'm on to my concealer. I'm using the Lancôme Waterproof in Light Buff. I like to put that on my fingertips and warm it up a little bit, and then place it under my eyes with tapping motions. And I just tap and tap and tap until it will slowly sink in and become one with my skin. And then I like to always grab the other end of the beauty blender, the pointed end, and I just go back and forth in a tapping motion just to encourage it to soak into my skin a little more, and also to pick up any excess that might not be working its way into my skin. So I'll go ahead and do that all the way from the inner corners to the temple. Now I'll grab the other side of the beauty blender that had that foundation, and I just kind of go over it where those two meet, and just so I have a seamless, perfect application all the way around. And now I'm grabbing my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder in the shade 4.5 and a fluffy brush. I think I got this brush in one of my monthly subscription boxes. So I'm just using that, putting a light dusting on my face. I don't go too ham with the powder just because I am dry and I don't like the cakey face, because that looks not good on anybody. So I'm just putting a light coat, making sure I go down the neck and under the eyes. Next I move on to my bronzer. I'm using a Tarte Amazonian Clay in the shade Park Avenue Princess, and I'm using a Morphe E4 for that. And I'm dusting off the extra, and I'm just going to bronze up the face, doing my cheekbones, and then I'll eventually work my way up onto the hairline and down onto the neck to give myself an instant facelift and take away my double chin, as if it was just that easy. And now it's time to blush, and I am using the Wet n Wild Ombre blush in a purple haze. And I'm using one of my favorite brushes, the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. It's a two-ended brush. I'm using the one side to put the blush on, and then the other side I'm showing you here is what I use to kind of dust off and blend the two together. And now I'm grabbing my highlight, which is the best time of the whole makeup session is putting on the highlight. I'm doing the ColourPop Smoke and Whistles and using my Morphe M501 brush. And bam, look at the highlight going there. It looks so intense in this light. In person, obviously not quite this much, but it sure is fun to look at. And now I'm going to do my brows. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in taupe. I'm using the spoolie to brush out the brushes, and then I'm going to slowly use the pencil and to carve in my brows and small strokes and just where it's natural, and I'm just using small strokes in the areas that are sparse. And then I will follow up with the spoolie again just to even it all out, and it really softens the look to brush it through with the spoolie when you're done. And now I grab my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel in clear, and I finish off my brows with using this. I find that if I use this, my brows will last pretty much the whole day. So I love it, love it, love it, and right now it's one of my holy grails. Now I'd like to grab my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I like to set my face now before going to my eyes, just so I can make it all be cohesive. Now on to the eyes. I'm going to use a primer, the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour extended eye base. I just warm that up on my fingers and place it all over my eyes, so it gives a nice base and extends the wear of your eyeshadow colors. And now I grab my NYX Jumbo Pencil in the shade Milk. It's just a white, creamy pencil. I'm going to place this all over my eyelids. And what that's going to do is just going to give it a base that's going to be great for when I put the purple shadow on there. It's going to show up a lot better on my skin tone. So it doesn't look like much now. It looks a little groovy, but you won't see any of this. This is all going to be covered up with purple shadow. And now I'm moving on to my eyeshadow colors. I'm starting with the Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie. I'm using my Sigma E25 blending brush to pick up some of that. And I'm going to place that as just a transition shade color in the space between your eyelid to the eyebrow. It doesn't have to go all the way up the brow because we're going to be putting a color at the top there. But it's just going to be in that empty space for a transition shade. It's just a nice base to put down before I start adding all the purples. And now I'm going to grab Makeup Geek's Unexpected, and I'm going to focus this into the crease area. And I'm just going to do windshield wiper motions, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then some swirls there. And just kind of blend it out in the area right above my crease. And this is going to be my main transition shade. It's such a pretty color. So I'm just going back and forth, blending that out. You're going to find that with a good eye look, it's all about blending. And so you're going to see a lot of that. In fact, I'm using now my Sigma E40 blending brush. That's a clean brush that I'm just going back and forth on the edges just to make sure everything has blended out evenly. Now I'm going to grab my Makeup Geek Outer V brush, and I'm going to grab the color Motown by Makeup Geek, and I'm going to add this into the crease area. I'm going to keep it really low in that crease. I don't want it to go too high. So I'm going to just go from side to side in the crease. And then I eventually will start blending that out, making sure to really keep it in that general area. I don't want it to go too high, because then it's going to get too dark and I'll look like I have a black eye. So I'm really working on blending it. Here I go back with my Sigma E25. And I'm just blending and blending and blending. Now I'm going to take my Too Faced Stardust palette, and I'm going to grab the color Follow Me with my MAC 242, and I'm going to pack that on my lid, on the outer and inner of my lids, trying to keep the middle open, the center open. It's not a big deal if you don't, it's just not necessary. So I'm really working on packing it on the lid, on both the inner and outer. It's kind of hard to see at this angle, but that color is such a pretty color. It has a metallic sparkle to it. So I'm doing that on the inner and outer, and making sure I pack it nice on the lid. Now I'm going to go back with my outer V brush with that Motown, because I noticed that I don't want to lose that darker color on the crease line. So I go back and do the crease again, and making sure that that Follow Me color didn't get too high up. And then of course you go back and blend. Everything you do, you have to go back and blend again. And now I'm going to grab a duochrome eyeshadow from Makeup Geek called Blacklight. I like using my MAC Fix Plus on there. I spray a little bit on my MAC 242 brush, and then I just pack it on that center lid. The color is so pretty. It's not doing it justice in this film, but in the video, but it is such a pretty color. It has that duochrome intensity to it. And if you're a purple lover, I highly recommend that Blacklight color in your collection. It's really, really a stunning color. So I'm putting that in the middle of my lids just to give it a pop of color. And then of course I'm going to go back with my outer V brush again and touch up that crease, making sure I keep that well defined. I don't want my lid colors going too high, so that's why I have to make sure my crease color gets redefined. And of course I'm grabbing the E40 again to blend. Now I'm going to grab, for my lower lash line, the Motown color with a definer brush. And I'm going to put that real close to my lash line on my lower lashes. And this is going to serve as the darkest color for almost like an eyeliner. I am going to put a waterline color in soon, but this is going to be darker than even that color. I also drag it out a little bit, almost with a little bit of a wing to it, on the side of my eye. I pull it out a little bit, blow it out. And now I'm going to diffuse it with the Real Techniques shading brush, and I grabbed a little bit of Makeup Geek's Wisteria, a little bit lighter of a purple color, just to diffuse that dark Motown color. And now I'm going to go back to my Stardust palette, and I'm going to do an inner highlight with a pink pearl from that palette. It's a real light, frosty, iridescent pink purple shade that I'm just putting in the inner corners just to give it a little pop, and it brightens up that purple a lot too. And now I'm going back to my MAC 242, and I'm going to do my eyebrow highlight. So I'm going to grab the MAC Pro Emphasize powder and just go underneath my brow bone there. And I'm really just making sure I have a light hand at it, and I'm going to make sure I diffuse it going down so I don't have that white strip that goes across your eyebrow. So I'm just going to put it and then slowly shade it down, and that will meet up with that pink smoothie that I had put on in the very beginning. And now I'm going to do my inner waterline, and I'm going to use the Pixi eyeliner pencil in the shade Violet. Of course, curl my lashes. I'm using the Tarte eyelash curler. And I'm grabbing my Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes in Glossy Black. I love this mascara. It's one of my favorites. And because I don't wear falsies, due to the fact that I do wear glasses most of the time, I definitely like to put on a couple coats of this, and I find that it layers really well and doesn't get too clumpy, and it has a nice volume to it. So it is a favorite of mine. So I'm using that to give it myself some lashes. And now I'm finishing up with the lips. I'm going to use the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in the shade African Violet. I picked this one because I wanted something a little more wearable. If I was to pick something too purple, you know, I didn't want to go too bold that way. So I went with something that had a pinkness to it as well. And there you go. That's my take on Purple Rain. I think it turned out fun. It's bold, but you know what? Prince was bold, and this is a tribute to him. So I did all things purple. We have a little bit of the purple blush, a tone of purple kind of in the lips, and then of course all the purples on the eyes, which I think they turned out so great. So, you know, with my glasses on or off, I think either way they look great. And let me know what you thought of this video, and if Prince was someone important in your life as he was to me. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.